Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. state quarter-dollar coins, as some of these coins are rare and can make you rich overnight. In this video, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're heading north, right into the heart of the Great Lakes, to explore a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or even hiding in your loose change. And we're talking about the 2004 Michigan State Quarter. Now hold on. Before you think it's just another quarter, listen closely, because this little piece of metal could be far more valuable than you imagine. In fact, one rare version of this coin has sold for a jaw-dropping amount, and we'll reveal that number in just a moment. So make sure you stay tuned. First, a little background. The Michigan State Quarter was released in 2004 as part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. It's one of the most beautiful in the series, featuring the outline of the state surrounded by the 5 Great Lakes, with the words Great Lakes State proudly displayed. This coin honors Michigan's rich natural geography and its unique place in American history. But what makes this coin special isn't just its design. It's what happened at the mint. While millions of these quarters were produced for everyday circulation, only a few made it out into the world with rare minting errors, mistakes so subtle that many people missed them completely. But to a trained eye, these flaws turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Some of the rarest Michigan quarters have errors like double die obverse or reverse, where parts of the coin's design, like the lettering or the state outline, appear doubled. This happens when the die strikes the coin more than once, slightly off position. These coins stand out immediately under magnification. Others have off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted from the center of the coin, or die cracks that appear as fine lines running across the surface. These errors are not supposed to happen, and that's what makes them so desirable. Now, imagine finding a Michigan quarter with a dramatic minting error, still in near-perfect condition. Never touched, never scratched, never spent. Those are the coins that collectors dream about, because when rarity, error, and condition come together, magic happens. And that brings us to the moment you've been waiting for. One such 2004 Michigan State Quarter, featuring a rare minting error and preserved in exceptional uncirculated condition, has sold for an astonishing $83,000. Yes, you heard that right. $83,000 for a single quarter that might have slipped through most people's fingers without a second glance. If you have a jar of old coins lying around, now's the time to take a closer look. Who knows? You might be holding on to a small fortune without even realizing it. Top 2, we've got something truly special lined up. We're heading out west to the wild and beautiful state of Wyoming. And trust me, you do not want to miss this one. Now, most people would look at a quarter and think, it's just 25 cents. But what if I told you that one of these seemingly ordinary coins could actually be worth tens of thousands of dollars? That's right. We're about to dive deep into the world of the 2007 Wyoming State Quarter, a coin that might just be hiding in plain sight. So sit back, grab your coin collection if you have one, and listen closely, because the next few minutes might change the way you see your spare change forever. Let's start with the coin itself. The Wyoming State Quarter was released in 2007 as part of the United States Mint's iconic 50 State Quarters program, a series that ran from 1999 to 2008, honoring each state with its own unique design. Wyoming's design is simple, clean, but powerful. It features the silhouette of a cowboy on a bucking bronco, a tribute to the state's strong Western heritage and cowboy culture. Alongside the image, you'll see the words, "The Equality State," a nod to Wyoming's pioneering role in women's rights. It's bold, it's symbolic, and at first glance, it looks like just another well-made coin. But here's where things get interesting. While the vast majority of Wyoming quarters are perfectly standard, a small number have surfaced with minting errors, mistakes that occurred during the coin's production at the U.S. Mint. And these errors? They're what can take a 25-cent piece and turn it into something worth thousands. Some of the most notable and sought-after errors on the Wyoming State Quarter include what collectors call missing details or weak strikes. On some error coins, the iconic bucking horse and rider appear faint, distorted, or even partially missing due to issues during the die strike. These aren't regular wear and tear issues. These are actual mint flaws that happened before the coin even left the factory. There are also examples of double dyes, where parts of the lettering, like Wyoming 2007 or the equality state, appear duplicated under magnification. These doubling errors are incredibly popular in the collector world and can increase a coin's value exponentially. Another rare type is the off-center strike, where the design isn't properly aligned on the coin's surface. Instead of a centered cowboy, the entire image looks like it's sliding off the edge. It's dramatic, it's rare, and it's something collectors go crazy for, but rarity alone isn't enough. What makes these coins truly valuable is condition. A coin with a rare error that's also in near-perfect, uncirculated condition. No scratches, no stains, just crisp detail and flawless metal. Becomes a unicorn in the world of numismatics. Now imagine finding a 2007 Wyoming quarter with a visible mint error, sharp detail, and a brilliant finish. That's the kind of coin that doesn't just sit in a binder. It becomes the centerpiece of a collection. That's the kind of coin that gets graded, authenticated, and auctioned. And when it does, that's when the magic happens. Because one such rare Wyoming state quarter, with a minting error and preserved in exceptional condition, has sold for a staggering $78,000. Yes, you heard that right. $78,000. For a quarter to S.O. the next time you're digging through your change jar, searching between couch cushions, or flipping through that old coin folder in the attic, pay extra close attention to those 2007 Wyoming quarters. You might just be holding a piece of numismatic gold without even knowing it. Top 3, we're diving into a coin that carries culture, history, and in some cases, a serious chunk of change. And we're talking about the 2009 United States quarter from Puerto Rico. Now, before you go tossing aside your spare change, you need to hear this. Because this little quarter, which most people overlook or spend without a second thought, could be hiding something incredibly rare, something that could transform it from pocket change into a collector's dream. Let's talk about WHY.IN 2009. The U.S. Mint continued its state quarter program with a special extension, the District of Columbia and U.S. Territories Quarters Program. This included coins from places like Guam, American Samoa, and yes, Puerto Rico. Each coin celebrated the unique identity of these regions, and Puerto Rico's design was nothing short of stunning. The Puerto Rico quarter features a beautiful image of a sentry box from El Morro Fortress overlooking the sea, a powerful symbol of the island's rich heritage and historic strength. Beneath it, the words Isla del Encanto, or Island of Enchantment, are inscribed, reflecting the beauty and culture that Puerto Rico brings to the United States. But what makes this coin more than just beautiful is what happened behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint. You see, while millions of these coins were struck and sent into circulation, a few slipped through the cracks with errors, minting mistakes that collectors absolutely love. These are the coins that never should have existed in the first place, and that's exactly what makes them so rare and so valuable. Some of the rarest Puerto Rico quarters from 2009 have what's called a double die error, a striking mistake where parts of the coin's design appear doubled. On these error coins, collectors have found noticeable doubling in the letters, especially around Puerto Rico, Isla del Encanto, or even on the sentry box itself. It gives the design a shadowed look and can only be spotted under magnification, but to a seasoned collector, it's a goldmine. Others have been found with off-center strikes, where the entire design is shifted noticeably away from the center of the coin, leaving blank space on one side and a crowded design on the other. It's visually striking and extremely rare, especially when the date and lettering are still fully visible. Then there are the planchet errors, where coins are accidentally struck on the wrong metal blank. A few Puerto Rico quarters have even been discovered struck on blanks meant for pennies or foreign coins, giving them unusual colors, weights, or textures. These are the kinds of coins that stop a collector in their tracks. Now let's talk about what makes these coins truly valuable, that it's not just the error. It's the condition that a rare error coin that has been heavily circulated or damaged might still be worth something. But a coin with a major error in mint state condition, uncirculated, shiny, and crisp, that's the kind of coin that ends up in an auction house or a private collection, commanding serious attention and even more serious bids. Collectors and dealers around the world are always watching for these rare Puerto Rico quarters because they're not just historical. They're nearly impossible to find in top condition with verified errors. If you're lucky enough to come across one like this, you're not just holding a quarter. You're holding a true piece of numismatic treasure. And that brings us to the big moment point, one of these rare 2009 Puerto Rico state quarters, featuring a dramatic minting error and preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, has sold for a mind-blowing $80,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter. $80,000 to the next time you're sifting through your change. Remember, it's not just money. It could be history. It could be a rare find. It could be your ticket to a small fortune. Top 4, we're talking about the United States state quarter from the year 2002, and this one represents none other than the Buckeye State, Ohio. Now, most people look at their change and never think twice. A quarter is a quarter, right? But what if that single coin, just 25 cents, was actually worth more than your car, or even more than your house? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll find out how one rare Ohio quarter turned into a small fortune. Let's begin with the design. Released in 2002 as part of the 50 State Quarters program, the Ohio quarter is one of the more striking and symbolic designs in the series. On the reverse side, you'll see an astronaut floating in space and an old-fashioned biplane flying across the coin. It's not just art, it's history. Ohio proudly claims to be the birthplace of aviation pioneers, honoring both the Wright brothers and John Glenn. But here's where things get interesting. Because while millions of Ohio quarters were minted and released into circulation, only a tiny fraction have something unique, something valuable. And that's errors. Let's talk about the kinds of errors that make a coin like this go from average to absolutely rare. Point one of the most coveted is the double die error, where elements of the design, like the state name Ohio, the astronaut, or even the stars, appear slightly doubled. This happens during the minting process when the die strikes the coin more than once, slightly off-center. To the untrained eye, it might look like a blur, but to collectors, it's a big deal. Another known error involves off-center strikes, where the coin's design is noticeably shifted to one side. If a coin was struck even 5 to 10% off-center and still shows the full date and key elements, it's already a collectible. But the rarer the error and the better the condition, the higher the value goes. There are also examples of die cracks, where thin raised lines appear on the surface of the coin due to a worn-out die. It looks like lightning running through the coin, and when it's in just the right place, collectors can't resist adding it to their collection. And we can't forget about planchet errors, where the coin is struck on the wrong metal or with an incomplete blank. Some Ohio quarters have surfaced with these rare flaws, making them instantly stand out. Now remember, condition is everything. You might have an error coin, but if it's been worn down, scratched, or corroded, its value takes a hit. But if it's uncirculated, kept clean and sharp, straight from a mint set or found in pristine condition, that's when you're talking serious money. And yes, collectors are actively searching for these rare Ohio quarters. The combination of historical significance, strong symbolism, and rare minting mistakes makes them especially attractive. For some collectors, this coin is more than just part of a set. It's the crown jewel. So, how much could one of these be worth? Well, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. A rare 2002 Ohio State quarter, featuring a significant minting error and preserved in exceptional condition, once sold for a staggering $77,000. That's right. Just one coin. $77,000. And to think, most people walk right past this coin without giving it a second glance. So, the next time you go through your change jar, or you're organizing your collection, pay extra attention to your Ohio quarters. Look for doubling. Check the edges. Inspect the details. That small difference could mean a massive reward. Top 5, we're setting sail with one of the most iconic state quarters ever made. A coin that honors America's early days, and, if you know what to look for, could be worth a whole lot more than just 25 cents. But we're talking about the United States Virginia State Quarter from the year 2000, and now don't let its common appearance fool you. This is one of those coins that many people have had in their hands, tucked in pockets or forgotten in drawers. But a very small number of these coins hide a rare secret, something that can turn a humble quarter into a collector's dream. Let's begin with the story behind the design. Released in the year 2000 as part of the U.S. Mint's wildly popular 50 State Quarters program, the Virginia quarter commemorates the founding of Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement in the New World. The reverse of the coin features three historic ships: the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery. These were the ships that carried the first English settlers across the Atlantic in 1607. Beneath those majestic ships, you'll find the words Jamestown 1607 to 2007, marking the 400th anniversary of that historic journey. It's a powerful image that reminds us where the American story began. But for collectors, it's not just about the history. It's about the errors, the rarity, and the condition that can make this quarter unbelievably valuable. Let's get into the good stuff. What actually makes this coin worth far more than face value? First up, double die errors. These are coins where parts of the design appear doubled, usually the lettering or numbers. On some rare Virginia quarters, collectors have noticed doubling on the date, on the ship sails, or even in the inscriptions like Virginia and Jamestown. This kind of doubling only happens when the die strikes the coin more than once with a slight shift, making it a standout piece for collectors. Then we have the off-center strike. This error occurs when the coin blank isn't properly aligned with the dies during minting. The result? A coin with part of the design cut off or shifted dramatically to one side. Off-center errors of 10% or more, where all critical features like the date and name are still visible, can sell for hundreds, sometimes thousands, on their own. And let's not forget about die cracks, cuds, or clipped planchets. Some Virginia quarters have been found with chunks missing from the edge or with raised lines running across the surface, both caused by worn or damaged dies. These kinds of dramatic minting flaws are rare, and when they appear on popular state quarters like Virginia's, their value skyrockets. Now here's a real twist. There are also examples of wrong planchet errors, where a quarter was mistakenly struck on a foreign coin blank or on the metal used for a different denomination. That results in coins that are lighter, thinner, or a completely different color than usual. When verified, these rare pieces can fetch incredible prices, but rarity alone isn't enough to command top dollar. What truly drives a coin's value through the roof is condition. Coins that have never been circulated, kept in mint state, untouched by hands or time. Those are the ones collectors crave. A rare minting error plus a pristine condition equals serious cash. And yes, the Virginia quarter fits the bill. With the perfect storm of historical significance, production volume, and documented mint errors, it's a top target for collectors everywhere. Now here comes the moment you've been waiting for. One of these rare Virginia state quarters, featuring a dramatic minting error and preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition, was once sold for a jaw-dropping $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. $81,000. For a single quarter. So before you drop another coin into a vending machine or toss it into your change jar, take a second look. That 2000 Virginia quarter might be more than just another coin. It could be a key to history, and possibly to an unbelievable payday. If you enjoyed this video and love learning about coins that could be hiding in plain sight, don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a story like this one. Thanks for watching, keep checking your change, and as always, happy collecting!